surveillance vehicle, completely tinted out, completely dark inside. Our primary surveillance are 8 to 10 hour days. We sit in our vehicles for those 8 to 10 hours, not moving, not making a sound, vehicles turned off, strictly on stealth mode. Completely out there ready with our cameras. When our claimant goes active, then it's go time. I would say out of our workman's compensation claims at various levels, 90% of them are fraud. And naturally, when we're out there shooting video, if a person has a left shoulder injury, I'm only concerned with what he's actually doing with his left shoulder, because that's his only restrictions.
People in our industry, like, when we try to talk to people outside of it, they just don't understand the insurance aspects of it. And sometimes we go down this like dark paths in this industry. Anytime you have a payout with those guys, and I'm publicly, I'll talk about it because we see it all the time. They'll go to extremities to fuck you. They'll spend $3,000 on an engineer report, even though I have video proof of the hail hitting that home of which I'm sitting in front of. I could show them a video dated and timestamped, and they'll still send an engineer out for 3 G's to tell me I'm lying.
They're doing anything they can to limit it.
I know.
These insurance companies, like you said, they have this money allotted. It's set to the side, it's ready to go, but they also like to drag it out as long as they can, because that money sitting in the account is also an interest-bearing account. Well, my end game will probably be over when I'm no longer on this earth, because, being driven, I have no intention of stopping, retiring until I no longer can.
You are now tuned in to the best roofing podcast in the world, the Roof Trollz.
We're here, Roof Trollz, baby. We're alive. When we were talking, but no, it's cool to finish the conversation. I just want to introduce everybody to my guest here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you guys doing? John Jordan. I've known Elijah for about 25 years now.
Nice. So we were discussing the Grant Cardone thing, and what's cool about him is that we had a podcast a few weeks back in Minnesota, and one of the teams that we work with in Build Strong, we do some collaborative things with them every once in a while. They are big in the Cardone University, and I recently read his book, one of his books, and that dude actually, I thought he was going to be a douchebag. Full disclosure, I didn't know anything about him. Shame on me for judging him, but I just figured, his videos and stuff, he's kind of like raw and in your face, but dude, that dude cares about his family so much. Like, that's literally what all of it is about. It's just retaining it for his family, making it home to his family, chilling with his family. Like, I read that book, and that's the one takeaway that I like solidified it for me, man. That dude is just like family. So what our objective here is, it's like a collaborative platform, and Roof Trollz was designed originally just to have a little bit of fun with it. But then along the way, we started to gain a little bit of traction in our industry. So it's like a roofing podcast, but we don't want to just be known as a roofing podcast. So we want to be known as like a collaborative podcast that's shining light, spotlight on people who are doing things, some like entrepreneurs. So we started thinking to ourselves, like, why are we just going to get the roofing industry into it? Why can't we get other people into it? So then we've been slowly trickling in so other people. And then we're like, you know what? Why don't we put Northwest Indiana on the map? Because if I can start getting guests in Northwest Indiana, and I can start shining light on some of the things that you guys are doing, then in turn, we can all start networking and using that, to our advantage. So like, I deal with 1,200 clients a year through roofing and siding, storm restoration. It might even be 2,000 this year. We got a pretty large sales team now. I would imagine one of them is going to need some type of service that you provide, and we'll get into that in a second. So like, same with you. You're doing your thing. Eventually, you're going to stumble across somebody who needs a roof. And I know we just did was it your mother-in-law?
Yeah, the mother-in-law.
Yeah. So that's awesome. What businesses do you have your hands in right now?
So currently, I have a party rental business in Northwest Indiana. Probably the second or third largest company in Northwest Indiana. We have tents, tables, inflatables, everything that you would need for a full service party rental business. I also am a licensed private investigator in 26 states. We primarily handle workman's compensation claims throughout the Midwest and the Southeast. And we just dropped our new company is Appliance Doctor 219. We handle in-house appliance repair for any appliances that you need from top to bottom.
So the bounce house thing, dude, that's dope. I'm going to get into private investigator stuff because that's just the shit anyway. Like just the whole concept of it. I remember when I first talked to you about that, I wanted to do it so bad. I'm like, dude, that's so awesome. Cause it reminds me of that Office episode. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, where Daryl, he calls off of work, cause he's sick. And then, Dwight he hurt himself in the office. So Dwight and them are like running up on his house to check him out and, see if he's, he's doing anything inappropriately, and they see the Eagles jersey and carrying the bag of dog food on their back and walking to the car. They're like, "You faker!" Yeah, it ends up being his sister, but it just reminds me of that so much. Like you're just like laid back in a car. Do I go? How does that even?
Yeah,
let's go into that first.
So our surveillance vehicle, completely tinted out, completely dark inside. Our primary surveillance are 8 to 10 hour days. We sit in our vehicles for those 8 to 10 hours, not moving, not making a sound. Vehicles turned off, strictly on stealth mode. Completely out there ready with our cameras. When our claimant goes active, then it's go time. Whether they stay at home, do video record and document everything, or if they leave, they go inside any type of retail stores, we'll follow them in there, get some covert video, formulate our report, send it out to our clients.
Nice. So, I mean, obviously there's some people that are actually hurt. You guys probably, how often is it like you go out there and you're like, oh, there was no reason to even come out here? Is it far more or far less than?
Far less where the claims are actually legitimate.
Oh,
I'm not trying to, I would say out of our,
you're in it.
out of our workman's compensation claims at various levels, 90% of them are fraud. Like it is rampant.
90%.
It is rampant. Yeah, it's rampant.
Man, that's crazy.
I obtain probably about a 70% video rate, which is that 70% activity rate that we go out. So 7 out of 10 days, I'm getting some type of activity, and 85 to 90% of those claims are fraudulent to various levels.
Do they give you like a check down? Is it like a list like, hey, they're on this type of restricted duty, so they shouldn't be doing this to watch out for this? Or like,
so the majority of our clients will give us name, address, contact information, and what their injury is and the date of loss, and then the ball goes in our court. We have to run our comprehensive background checks to get all the information. And we run our background checks because we're licensed. We go back since they've been 18. Any type of bankruptcies, any vehicles they've ever had registered, addresses, parents, neighbors, all that. So it gives us groundwork so we know what we're working with when we get out there. Gives us some type of idea. And naturally, when we're out there shooting video, as a person has a left shoulder injury, I'm only concerned with what he's actually doing with his left shoulder because that's his only restrictions. So for the most part, we have to know our restrictions. Some cases we don't, then we'll just videotape the whole thing.
So while you're doing this line of work, does this primarily come from the employer, or does this come from the insurance companies, or is it a mixture of both of them, or who reaches out to you and is like, hey man, we got some shit going on, we need you to check out?
It's an insurance industry. It goes, you file a workman's comp claim through here, you're going to reach out to your workman's comp insurance company, and then it's either workman's comp insurance or it's a case management company, national case management companies that will delegate the work and send it out to everybody.
That's wild. Yeah. What's the farthest you travel for stuff like that?
So it's funny that you say that. I'm actually leaving on Wednesday. I have a 11-day stay. I'm going down to Kentucky for 3 days, down to Gulfport, Mississippi. Then I have to go over to Wichita, Kansas. So I've been to Colorado. I was down in the Keys last year doing some work for a private client down there as well. So minus going to California or the far Northeast, that's about, I travel all over.
Man, it's so deep. People in our industry, like when we try to talk to people outside of it, they just don't understand the insurance aspects of it. And sometimes we go down these like dark paths in this industry. I told a couple of my buddies too, I'm like, you guys only knew how dirty the insurance company game really is. Because anytime you have a payout with those guys, and I'm publicly, I'll talk about it because we see it all the time. They'll go to extremities to fuck you. And I'm not saying that it's maybe not necessarily fucking people because, people are trying to get over on them too.
Absolutely.
But I see them take advantage of people who aren't trying to get over on them. So I can only imagine it's the same way. They're automatically like hiring someone of your caliber to go do that thing. And that's a badass job on your end, but man, shame on those assholes. But then you start thinking about the people who might be taking advantage of them, and I get it too. And according to you, that's a much bigger pot on that end. But man, it's just crazy how hard they make us fight for legitimate damages on homes and stuff, and how hard they make us fight for sicknesses or anything we're doing with our policies with them, or people of the health insurance, all stuff. Like you just got our life insurance when someone passed away, you got to fight tooth and nail to get your money that you put into this. But look how fast they are to make sure they don't got to pay any money. Like, yeah, bro,
It's ridiculous.
They'll spend $3,000 on an engineer report, even though I have video proof of the hail hitting that home of which I'm sitting in front of. I could show them a video dated and timestamped, and they'll still send an engineer out for $3,000 to tell me I'm lying.
They're doing anything they can to limit it.
I know.
And on my side, I used to look at it growing up where we grew up at. I used to look at it when I was initially started doing this. I'm a narc. I'm telling on people, get them in trouble.
Yeah.
But then I also grew up a little bit and realized I'm missing my kids' baseball games. Like we talked about family. I'm missing all of those private events. So someone could sit at home on their ass and get paid.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
No, 100%.
So that's kind of, I turned my vision into, I'm going out here to do what I have to do for my family and go from there. But in the same aspect from the business side of things, if there's a couple $100,000 claim, and they could spend 20 to mitigate that risk, financially, it's a smart investment. A lot of times in this industry, they're going to pay out, but they're just trying to limit their exposure.
That's what they do here. So they'll pay you, and they already have it allocated. The funds are put aside. They know they're paying you. They're just going to make you do the dog and pony show for a long time. Until they do that, they stall as much as they can. It's a book out there, Delay, Deny, Defend. And it's about our industry and storm restoration. It's crazy how they like intertwine with each other like that. But yeah, that's the same thing we're dealing with over here. They'll go through any lengths they can to limit what they got to pay out for. They know how severe the storms are, but if, like you said, if they can get, what they'll do to us is just drag it out, because if they can get even half of the people to drop the claim because of how long it's taking or whatever bullshit story they sell them on why they're not paying for it, even though they are. If they get half of those to drop, that's a win for their yeah, they're constantly, because they've collected premiums, the whole point, and then just dance around the definitions and their policies and stuff. I can't get into whole policy conversations like I want to. Unfortunately, I'm limited in how much I can say, but man, if people only took the time out to educate themselves and look on Google and do some research on what the policies are, what your actual coverages are, what you're paying for, the definitions broke down for each one of those. It sucks. It's nerd work. Like, it's so boring. Right. But if they did it, my God, would they see the amount of money that they're wasting and that they think they have? Do we deal with people in homes that don't even have covers? They'll say hail is a cosmetic exclusion. They'll define it as cosmetic in the policy. So like dents and stuff are cosmetic, and then they don't owe for any matching endorsement. They don't owe for any code upgrades or anything. So like basically, if hail comes and hits that house, what do you want me to do for that person? It's a mixed match roof at that point. They don't owe to bring anything back up to code. So the decking's out like you're out. And then cosmetic exclusion, they're defining hail as cosmetic. The state of Indiana doesn't agree with that, but you got to get someone who's willing to go to litigation. And a lot of these homeowners don't have the money to go to litigation.
And like you said, then by that time, they're dragging the process out and getting frustrated.
Yep. And then once the litigation's off the table, that's it. You know, that's once you can't sue the carrier, they have no reason to do anything for you, because all the risk that they had involved in it is gone. Now they're just going to tell you no, and they don't got to give you a reason. They're just going to say, yeah, okay, you can't do shit now anyway. So whatever. That's the insurance company, though.
What I noticed, and just to real quick on that, what I noticed is these insurance companies, like you said, they have this money allotted. It's set to the side. It's ready to go. But they also like to drag it out as long as they can, because that money sitting in the account is also an interest-bearing account.
Oh, dude.
They're making money on that money sitting there.
Beyond interest-bearing, bro. They invest. They literally take the premiums. The only industry that allows them to do that with their customers. So we can't do that. Take their premiums, invest it into something with the return on investment to be able to stack their money. That's why they got Arnold Schwarzenegger doing Super Bowl commercials and Patrick Mahomes and shit. We don't have that. I can't get Patrick Mahomes. You know, I had to jump through hoops lengths to get, to do what I'm doing on the podcast.
We wonder why our premiums are through the roof,
bro. I love that too. Like, I don't want my premiums to go up. Your premiums already gone up. If you've been living in a house longer than 10 years, you're paying more right now for it. Doesn't matter if you took a claim out or not. Do you see how foolish that looks when you're saying, what you're saying is I'm okay in paying for all my neighbors to have new shit, but I'm not going to fuck with mine. Like, so
yeah.
I want to be your insurance carrier at that point. You pay me half of what you're paying them, and I'll never replace anything on your house. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. That's what they're doing.
What's crazy is in 10 years from now, it's going to be double. It's going to be through the roof even more. It's going to continue to go.
Oh, yeah. They got percentages now. So I've watched mine. I started off at $700. Never took a claim out or anything. Went to $1,300. Never took a claim out still. And now I'm at $3,700 because my neighborhood is a little bit larger and people have been taking claims out left and right. Well, they did prior to us when we first moved in there in Valpo. No storms right now for Valpo, but they just taking claims out left and right, and that's how the rates go up. People don't understand that, so they're not going to up your rates. And if you get brand new shit and they up your rates on you, and they do it because you took a claim out, go get somebody else.
Right.
What's your commitment to them? You got brand new material in your house. You can get cheap for anybody, but if you are in the process with them too, like guys, don't be scared to take a claim out, man. They got money. They're profiting billions, not millions, billions with a B.
Money.
Like, yeah, you
And it's allocated already. They know they're going to.
well, that's how the rates go up. So they put it. So say we're 46385 is my zip code. So we got money that we're putting into this side of Valpo. And when the storm hits, after that money starts to disappear, they're like, oh, this is a catastrophe zone. Up everybody's rates in there because they know they're gonna have to pay out to take a claim out. Yeah, that's how it works. It has nothing to do with anything else. And so many adjusters or agents will lie to homeowners and just tell them it's about something else when it's not about that. And they get bonuses too from restricting claims. Like an agent will get a bonus from the carrier for denying a claim or for trying to get someone to come out of it, not denying one, to get them to back out, but we won't even get to that process. Like they're trained to just, everything. Oh, yes, my boy. Sorry, guys. For those who get to see, Angelo just walked in and he got me some Pokemon booster sets that I tried to obtain this morning, but I could not because of the podcast. What a good friend.
Yeah, you have to keep him around. He's all right.
Yeah. What a good friend. I was going to reveal the one I got today on the next podcast that we shoot, so we'll save that.
He must have stood in line for you this morning.
He did. He's a good friend.
It was 10 minutes. Wasn't that long. It was actually 45. Let's give yourself a little more credit.
So your bounce place is like what the happening one is, the fun one. You recently started an appliance doctor. Is it appliance
Factor 219, yes.
Okay, so then you're just do like small mechanical stuff like what, microwaves, dishwashers,
Yes,
home appliances,
fridges, ranges, washer and dryer sets as well.
Nice. The next brand new,
just released it. We just dropped Scudure. Well, a month and a half ago, maybe. I have a business partner that handles all the in-home operations. He's got almost 25 years experience in the field. Been a grinder and a hustler all his life and working for another company, kind of making them the money. And then came to me. He's like, you can handle the business side of things and the marketing and getting this out there. And I can handle the infield stuff. Let's go ahead and put something together. So that's how that kind of got started.
That's badass. Yeah. I saw that pop up there. I'm like, man, it's these guys' hands and everything. So the bounce is Jump City, which I personally have rented from you before. Angelo as well for the 4th of July party that we all had. And I think he got tables and tents and stuff from you too, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And your wife is the one that like sets all that stuff up.
Yeah, she was on the website wise and handles all the reservations and everything like that. Beautifully. It's a team effort, family effort.
Yeah, it's badass. And there's such a big market for that. You never realize until you actually need one. Like when Ari's birthday came up, I'm like, oh, I need to get a bounce house. And I'm like looking around and I call you guys and stuff. And it's crazy how many pop up. And then after that, for some reason now on Facebook, I just always see it. I always tag you guys, but I always see it. Like everybody's looking for bounce. I'm like, man, this is a big market.
It is
crazy.
It is a big market. We're currently the only one in Northwest Indiana that does a 4-day rental. So we drop all of our units off on Friday, pick up on Monday. It's strictly to add value to all of our customers, kind of, going above and beyond for that service and, having top quality units of just giving them a whole weekend experience and rather than an incremental 6 or 8 hour experience.
Yeah, it's got to be great for kids too. So you got the birthday party and then everybody goes home and then, it's done the next day. But for that kid, you're like waking up and it's there now for themselves.
So actually, it's even better for the parents. We joke around with the parents and say it's a built-in babysitter for 72 to 96 hours. Yeah. So they love it just as much.
Hell yeah. And then you guys got everything. You guys got obstacle course mornings. You guys got big ass info. What all do you rent? Is there a gamer truck? At one point in time, there
was a gamer truck. We had that. We was doing well with that. And decided to move on from it. It just wasn't meshing well with what we were trying to do. Took a lot more time away. When you break it down from the business aspect, being away from that much, what it takes, being able to be hands-on on the other sides of the businesses just took a little bit too much time away. So we wouldn't move down from that. That is a great market as well. It's a great business to be in. It was definitely financially worth it. Just time restraints is what it was affecting me as well.
Oh man, it's crazy. I always because I do marketing here. So I was thinking about yours. I'm like, dude, all this shit you guys could do with bounce because roofing is boring. Like, I have to make it fun because even for myself, like I'm bored with it and I own a roofing company, but like yours is bounce houses, bro. Does that ever get boring? Like the content you guys can have, like that's
so the content wise, I can see, like you said, the opportunities for the content wise. For me personally, it's an ABC type job. I get there and do we have to have those customer interactions. It seems a little monotonous to me, but after you're in a routine, I guess anything in life is going to be a little bit monotonous.
Yeah, I could see that. Man, dude, I would be doing some crazy shit on my content with bounce houses. I'd be going through obstacles. I would have like the splash ones, like the slide ones, I'd be going down there and like the water, and you're like, you guys need a rental, like whatever.
Yeah, you great opportunity. Marketing wise, there's plenty of opportunities there. That's something we're gonna really focus on and kind of enhance. Speaking with you, we're gonna as you through the end of this year, curving, and even some parties for next year. But we're already booked up for June and July. Probably 50% of our inventory is already spoken for, ready to go for the.
That's crazy, man. That's good though. That's good. Yeah, we're starting to ramp up here too. Storm season's coming, man. The weather's starting to break now. Finally,
that's the biggest difference. That weather starts breaking, everybody starts thinking 3-4 months from now what's going on. So
yep. And then storm season just so fun for us. We got the whole team. You met some of them back there, but like this whole squad's ready, and just man, we're all ramped up and just.
Yeah, you had a good team like I was back there conversing before the podcast with a bunch of them, and I knew a couple of the guys, grew up with them and everything like that, but he has had a good team here. Seemed like everybody networks together pretty well.
Yeah, man, we took a lot of time to build culture here. It was like one of the most important aspects to our business, and then just setting it up here because it's so hard to grow in Hobart. They restrict some of the businesses here so much. We bought this building. We were so happy, to set up here, and, we're going to plant our roots here. We're going to be part of the community. We want to give back. We donate in schools. We do better in roofs. Like we give back. I mean, we're sponsoring some football team stuff. Suzanne's got us plugged in with the high school. We do whatever we can, but man, they just don't want to help us. We've tried to, we got the signs out in the front of the building that night. It looks cool, but that night was supposed to be so much bigger. And they're like, no, you can't do it. I'm like, well, why not? And they're like, well, we just want to put lights on it. I want it to be like a big Batman logo. At night, you see it. And they're like, no, we don't want it to bright up like that. No, you can't have it this size. No, you can't do this. Then we got the upstairs. No, you need a permit to gut it. We're not even rebuilding anything. And they're like, yeah, you need one to gut it. I'm like, all right, well, let's go do that. Well, until then, you can't do anything. So then we do that. We gut it. We're trying to redo it now. And now they got 100 restrictions. We had to go get an architect. So I'm out fucking 2-3 G's, 5 G's almost, I think, all in to get this architect to write up the schematics. I give it to the city of Hobart, and the city of Hobart then tells us, well, you have to use it for what it was used for prior to that. And if you're changing it, you have to go through the state, not through the city. And I'm like, dude, they didn't disclose anything about this when we bought the building. No, nothing. And I bought this building at a discount. We got a good deal on it. But the fact that they're putting that, and it's like, dude, we're trying to help you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I'm making money. Of course, everybody knows that. But like, outside of that, though, we are rebuilding the town. Not everybody can afford to buy a roof for $20,000 out of pocket. So we're giving them another avenue that they can go down. Yeah, dude. And
absolutely.
We're contributing. I'm paying, taxes on the building and stuff like that. We're contributing to the town. We buy all our permits to them. We do a lot of work in this area. Like we're promoting a business, and we ramped up a bunch of salespeople. Like half my team live in Hobart. So I'm employing residents and stuff here. Yeah. We're working with all the businesses that we can.
So we have the new administration in Portage, and speaking to other small business owners, previous administrations, it was really tough to open up a small business in Portage. Larger commercial, big box was a little bit easier to work with. The new administration in Portage now seems to be more of a community, smaller business supporting aspect. So it's starting to lean a little bit easier to work with. But prior to that, when we first started opening up our shop out there as well, we ran into the same issues, and it was just kind of like you're ultimately hurting the citizens of the city because we're trying to work with them and give back to the city as well. So
yeah, these guys,
it's a little mind blowing at times.
I like Hobart too. Like it sucks, dude, because I really like it. It's a tight knit town. I bought my first house in Hobart. I lived here in an apartment for a little while. I made some good friends in Hobart. We got some great salespeople from Hobart. Like I like Hobart, but dude, they make it so difficult. There are some other businesses that were struggling out here. One guy had to run for mayor against the current mayor just so he could be treated right at his restaurant. Like a whole bunch of problems over there. Musicians have like not wanted to play here because the way they're treated. And like it's all these local businesses. Look at all these empty places. Like right here, empty. Next to it, empty. House back there, empty. The old building we used to rent on the corner there, it's empty. The only thriving businesses in Hobart right now are bars. And they're wondering.
I know a couple bar owners and restaurant owners here in town.
They're good people. I'm not shitting on anybody here. They're good people, but the politics that go on in Hobart, Indiana, man, it makes it really hard for business owners to really plant their feet here. And not even just thrive, you don't even know what they're willing to give back because you haven't even given the opportunity. They just, if you're not from here, they don't want you here at all. And we're like seeing that that's like a real thing. Like, look, dude, we didn't tell you to buy a building here. We didn't tell you to open up a roofing company here. Doesn't matter if we're helping people. It's like, dude, we never invited you here. Therefore, we're not going to help you out the way other people would have, And it sucks, dude, because like we're cool with everybody, man.
Going that, I think that's more of a mindset growing up where we grew up at. I was always cool with everybody until it was time not to be cool. I was nothing that we were ever trying to be. And going to business wise, I would like to help out the community, help out as many people as I possibly can, as long as, it's mutual. We're all working together and everything like that. But for someone to be, or a town or a city or a municipality to be so closed-minded, it's like, do you really care about your community and what you have going on?
Yeah, and we've tried to work with him too. So I tried to get the mayor here on a podcast. He just shrugged it off. And maybe it's the title of the podcast. I don't know, that kind of throws off people at the beginning. So like maybe that was it. But we have an attorney that's one of our business partners here, Jeff Semco Law. If you guys find yourselves in any trouble, hit him up in Cherville. But Jeff Semco's awesome, and he's cool with him. So he reached out to him and kind of like brushed him off too. I got the mayor from Hammond coming, in a couple of weeks to do a podcast with us. He's got his own podcast too. That guy actually seems really fun. But I just don't, what? Why in business anyway, it's always good to sit down with everybody. You always hear somebody out because you don't know what the hell's going to come out of someone's mouth.
No,
you don't.
Networking's key.
Yeah, 100%. And dude, you run campaigns and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that we're going to be like, we could be your top-notch guys, but we have money too to spend. You know what I'm saying? If you want us to hit a table up in a campaign, we work together. Maybe we do some videos. We collab together about how you're like helping us with this building, because this used to be a huge building in this area. So Ginter Realty was huge for everybody in here, and this building was so run down. We got in here too. We had to do everything: brand new carpets, brand new paint, brand new doors, brand new everything. Basement easement downstairs, waterproofed it, cleaned up that, new AC, new furnace, digital outlets. Like we went the whole thing, dude. Yeah, we just went through the whole process, and just to the reception that we got after that. And upstairs used to be a roller rink.
Well, they were upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs. They would walk up the stairs, and it's a huge roller rink. It's the size of this building upstairs, completely hollowed out shell now, like just open, until they let us remodel it. Lord, hopefully they let us remodel it, because we want to do an event space up there. That was what our game plan was. We're going to put down some nice hardwood flooring. We're going to do like some 80-inch TVs on the 4 in a row with the adapter on it. Like, it's going to look badass, but we figured, hey man, we'll get some traffic in here. We'll do some events upstairs. We'll house a bigger sales team upstairs. Like, it'll just be a place where it'll be nice, a nice office to go to. And then when people come here, all this shit gets crowded, bro. If you come in here on a Tuesday for a sales meeting, there ain't nowhere to walk in here. Like, it's just packed with people. So having the upstairs would really help us. But man, we're just getting such a pushback on it. It really sucks. I just want to kind of air that out a little bit.
Yeah, handcuffs you a little bit.
It does, dude. It does. And I just don't, if I understood why, then I guess it would be a little bit different. But the fact that they're doing this and there's really no explanation behind it other than they just want to do it, it really bothers us. Like, yeah, it sucks, dude. Like, I just don't know how it affects them. I was willing to move past the side, but not letting us redo the top of the building is absurd. If we didn't known that prior to buying it, I don't know that we buy it. If we didn't know we got that much pushback,
I would have left this building vacant with no one in here.
Which it was sitting there vacant, yeah. And it was already on a discount too, dude. This building was sitting here at $275,000 vacant. That's what I paid for this. That's what we got it for. To like $275, $278 or something like that. That's for the whole building. We got it, and then we put in $200 into it almost. And
then for them not to let you do it.
Yeah, and and that's not even counting the biggest part now. We've done everything except for up there. We gutted it and everything. Now we're like ready to do it. And they're like, no. The crazier part too is that they told us that it's a fire hazard now with everything being stripped out of there. And we're like, okay, well then what's going on then? And they're like, oh no, you didn't get a permit now. We got to go through all this. And I'm like, all right, so what are you saying that if a fire should break out then? Because you're on record stating that it's a fire hazard. So now you're putting my people at risk too on top of that. I get that we should have had a permit to gut it. I really did not know that was the process, and shame on me. Fine me for it or whatever. But after that, now what's the solution? We get
what we have to do.
We get it now, but like now the solution, like we understand the problem. Because we tell our sales guys that all the time, like, don't keep bringing the problem to me. We all get the problem. What's the solution? Where are we at now? So now we've been fined. You told us we had to have a permit. We applied for our permit. Now what's the excuse? You know, like, where are we at now? Now, how do we resolve this to where we could just go about our days and handle business?
Keep it moving. That's a great saying. I used to talk to people when I used to be a district manager, and they'd come to me with problems. And I used to tell them, I want to hear all the problems, but I prefer you to come to me with your problems and having a solution backed up for that, so we can.
Yeah, at least an idea. And maybe I don't go with your idea. Who knows? But hey, if you got all these problems, you've been sitting here contemplating, and you took the time to build your courage up to come to me and address these problems that you don't seem to think that I'm aware of. Now that I'm telling you, I'm aware of them too. So, like, what'd you come up with?
Absolutely.
Because I got a list in my head of what I came up with. So what do you got for me?
And like you said, no matter whether we choose or not to, it shows that you care. There's effort and there's thought behind it.
Yeah.
Because talent in any aspect, I can deal with lack of talent in certain areas. You're not a great salesman, for instance, in your side, but you're trying to get better. You're trying to improve yourself. I can deal with that more than just like, yeah, I'm going to go through the motions. So I agree with you 100%.
Well, we had a lot of guys. We spent some time cleaning up here. I had some good guys we had to let go because that's what they were doing, man. They were just going with the motions, just not a care in the world, and just not trying to.
Following your guys' social media and all of the Roof Trollz podcast that you guys are doing a great job. The culture and everything that you're changing and your thought process behind how you guys are growing, taking care of your people. I see nothing but great things ahead for you guys. You guys are doing great things in that aspect.
And it costs money too, dude. Like, it was not cheap. So this is a commission only business for the most part. Every year I've ever been in, it's been commission only. We have a salary here. We have a 401k here. We have dental, health, vision. And then, we also provide, company vehicles. We're in the process of getting more of those company vehicles. That's actually the hardest part, bro. Everything really, it's the loans for the vehicles, because you have a loan. There's so many other loans going on and so many other areas that you have your money and your name stuff tied to that and we have 6 owners. So it's like a repetitive battle it's hard to get all 6 of us in the same room together, let alone all 6 of us got to be on paperwork together and all of our shit's got to be, it's like, man, that's brutal hard.
Yeah, it'll be hard.
Yeah. The good part though, is anytime we face problems, and we've mentioned this on here several times, like having the 6 owners, people think that makes you less money. They're retarded. 6 owners gives us 6 different perspectives to look at whenever we encounter a problem. And it gives us 6 different minds to pick when we present a solution or we present a system that we want to run, because it's 6 different perspectives. Yep. And most of us come from a sales background. It's very unlikely that we'll have to filter through as much shit at the back end because of how well it's protected in the front end. And then anytime the problem comes up, it's like, all right, man, I might come into it really aggressive. That's just my style. Or where somebody else might come in really soft-spoken. That's like more Jeff style, or with logic, like Angela style and stuff like that. You want to step back and we get to see it all, and then it's like, all right, well, I could see the benefit of this. I see the benefit of this. And then we collab together. And what's really cool about what we have going on right now is that all of us have different philosophies to get to where we want to go. But the end of the road is straight. It's for everybody. Like, we all know what we want. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. So once I feel like the ship, it'll be a little rocky on the sail, but like once you have a destination and you're all committed to that destination, man, this could be
so crazy. With appliance doctor, I do have a partner. My other company is strictly me, and my wife as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm married, so I'm actually just a employee. She's the real boss. She's the real boss. Always, but I wouldn't have it any other way. But having other people say, "Oh, why have a partner? You're losing part profits," and it's not like that. If, like you said, if you have another person that's in there that's invested as much as you and put in as much work as you, has the same care, you're not going to have a full staff that's going to care the same way. You try to breed that culture. You try to build them up to where everybody cares about personal integrity and what you do, but that's just not the case.
Well, Gary Vee hit it on the head. He's one of the people that really spits that out. And people say whatever the fuck you want to about Gary Vee too, by the way. I hear all the time, Gary Vee, that's all fake. Okay, but at the end of the day, though, he's got a $200 million company and you don't. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to him. Yeah. But he says that it's impossible for you to get somebody that works underneath you to care about anything as much as you do, because they don't have this big of a cut as you. Pay them the same amount of money that you make, and then they will care the way you do. And obviously, as owners, we don't do that. Right. So and you can't do that, otherwise you'd be out of business.
Correct.
So you have to understand that Yes, you can have great people. Yes, people are going to work very hard for you. No, they're not going to have the investment in this that you do. So when you go to ask somebody, well, why the fuck didn't you work 6 days a week? Because I work 6 days a week. Well, yeah, you own this shit, bro. You should be working 7 days a week.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Like able to leave a place and turn it off.
Yeah, dude.
We don't turn it off.
No,
We never turn it off.
never is. It never is. And then my fiance is she works on the public adjusters aspect of it. So she owns part of National Adjusters, and because of that, me and her, unfortunately, there is really no escape in this because she's always picking my brain. I used to be a public adjuster. I was licensed in 2017 to 2019 in Illinois. So she'll pick my brain a lot, and we'll go back and forth like what she's got on her side, and then obviously I share my stuff on my side. But I don't really get to escape the industry, which is good and bad. It's bad because sometimes I feel like I would love to talk about something outside of this, which is why the podcast is here. But the good part is that it's something for me and my fiance to bring us closer. And then watching her evolve as a business owner now too, you know, like contributing to that and giving her the time to build that out too. So like now we have those two businesses, and it's in the same industry, but we're not stepping on each other's toes in the same building together all the time. So that part's nice. It's cool, you know, like just seeing, because that's how it should be, bro. If you have a queen, then the queen should be part of it, you know, if not the face of it, but she should at least be part of the whole thing. Like for me, it's everything. I don't have anything without her. She does literally everything for me. And I supply, you know, I work my ass off for my family. I'm always going to be there to support them and put them financially. I take care of them. There's no problem with that at all. My hustle will speak for itself, but I don't know what's in my bank account. People think I'm lying about that. I swear to God, I don't. I don't know how to pay bills. I don't know how to do any of this. I don't even know what my checks are. I have to ask her like every Friday. She has to remind me like every other Friday that it's payday. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, what was it? You know, and then she'll text it to me and give it to me. But like, that's not a joke, guys. I don't know anything about that stuff because that wasn't what I set out to do. I told her when we first got together, I said, look, I believe in the old school method of a man supporting his family. And this is what we do. When my daughter hit 7 years old, Amanda hadn't worked for 7 years. So when Aria turned 7, she was like, hey, I need some type of communication with the outside world. Like I could never do it either, but she's like, I can't just sit at home with a 7-year-old. Now she's at school and she's like, what am I going to do, Elijah? She's like, I'm sitting here and I'm going stir crazy. Like, I can't do this. So it's like, all right. She's like, I need to like do something. So luckily we had a hook up into this and she got into that industry and she was able to own a portion of that building, that company. So now she's in there, you know, we tied in a little bit with our finances to get her in there as an owner. So, that's cool. And now she's like, evolving, and it's just badass, dude, because now she gives the interaction she wants, and then I get to come home. We have some common ground to talk about and stuff. It's, in a way, it's brought us a little bit closer, but it does bring some stress on some shit too, though, because, you know,
I definitely could relate to that.
She deals with the insurance on a far greater scale than I do. Like, that's all she does. Like, those guys, man. After you just go back and forth.
Often having the same issues, or you guys share the same sentiment.
Yeah, but hers is even deeper. So like the PA side, the public adjuster side, they actually have to do everything to them. So they got to file the claim. They got to schedule the adjustment with the adjuster. They got to meet the adjuster out there on the property. They do the investigation.
They got to do the shit that you do.
Like they got everything. Yeah, if we were to use them as our public adjuster, then yeah, I would essentially, my guys would, so I don't do it anymore, but my guys would basically meet with a customer. If the customer wanted to file a claim, they'd work with them, introduce them to the public adjuster. Public adjuster would help them in getting everything started, getting the insurance out there, and then they do their adjustment, back and forth estimates. Once they have an approval at an appropriate profit margin, then we would go in there. We would just build it. Yeah. But they handle all that, because in the state of Indiana, you can't be a public adjuster and a contractor. In the state of Illinois, you can be. Yeah. So yeah, but Illinois got some restrictive laws too. So they have it capped off now. So like out here, you do 30% public adjuster's fee. So if somebody bails on a PA contract in Indiana, they could get hit with 30% of their money gone out of that check, the first initial check. Right. But in Illinois, they have a 10% cap on it, which protects the homeowner, but fucks the contractors, in my opinion, or anybody. Right. Yeah, 10%. So you give me 40 G's for my house, and and then I take $4,000, I give it to you, and then I get to keep $36,000. And then I can get roof and siding for 20, you know, somebody I know. So then I get to pocket 16,000 going right in the pocket. Who's not doing that deal? Yep. And what's sad is like the state of Illinois knows it's going on, and they still just allow it to happen because it's their way to stick it to the public adjusters.
Well, I think anybody would agree that the state of Indiana is a shit show.
Illinois.
Or Illinois.
Well, both.
Yeah, Illinois.
Both. Yeah. How do we not have legal weed right now? Sorry, I don't care. I'm pro weed. It is what it is. How the hell do we not have it right now? Everybody does. Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois. Like, what do we do?
And the tax dollars speak for themselves. I think Illinois just passed $4 billion of sales in the last few years, like combined.
Oh,
Dude, pro weed as well. I don't understand the reason behind it. Alcohol is 100% worse. Take it or leave it. But in the grand scheme of things, it makes no sense.
I like a good drink too every once in a while. I'm down with an old fashioned, but it doesn't make sense. And then they just gave us drinking, like we're now legally allowed to drink on Sunday. Yeah, but then they started at 12, right when the kickoffs. They're like, oh yeah, go ahead and get your beer now. You assholes. And the last ones to do it, they'll be the last ones to do weed too. It'll be everybody else.
They will absolutely be one of the last ones to do weed. Absolutely, no questions asked.
Worst governor. I'll give you. Indiana's the worst governor.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I agree.
It's tough, man.
I agree.
I vote Republican for the most part, full disclosure, but I voted Democrat for the governor here because it's just you recognize evil. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of things in life, and no matter how you look, come back down to common sense. A lot of things come down to common sense, and it's just like I vote Republican as well, and it's just strictly from a common sense aspect from people.
Yeah, I don't have a color. Don't say I'm red. Come with that.
I don't.
Yeah, I'll go blue if it makes sense.
Yes, and that's it. There's nothing. I mean, I grew up Democrat, voted Democrat, and then it started turning. You're like, yeah, this just doesn't.
Well, you started making money.
Yeah.
Sorry, but when you're a business owner and you start, you start actually getting into it, and then you realize what they're doing to business owners, it's tough. But you're like, okay, absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy, the taxes and stuff. But man, what's the future look like for you as we wrap this up? But like, where are you going with all this? I remember back in the day you talked about a compound. I don't know if that's still a thing, or like where do you see all of this? Where does this take you? Like, what's the end game?
Yeah, so my end game will probably be over when I'm no longer on this earth because, being driven, I have no intention of stopping retiring until I no longer can. We are looking for a compound, 20 or 30 acres. My kids, I have 3 great kids, 21, 17, and 15. They're all doing great things. I want to provide them an opportunity to move onto the compound. Financially speaking, I rent out a warehouse. That takes money. I need warehouses for my businesses. So we want to buy some acres, give the kids an opportunity to build on the compound if I choose to. And I'm going to, rather than paying someone else's mortgage or rent wise for my warehouse, I'm going to have my warehouse on site and be able to run my businesses directly on our own compound. So that's kind of my short-term end goal. That's what I've been working at for the last few years. And then once I have that, my wife always asks me, will you calm down and take it easy? And I'm just not built like that, Don't know too much about opening up anymore, having 3 businesses and doing the real estate thing on the side as well. Managing time is a little bit tricky at times to try to, make stuff work.
Yeah, so I was going to chase real estate too. That was one of our things too. Now, but now I have a goal in my mind too. I finally toned it down. So I'm going to die on the West Coast. I know that for sure. I've already told him I will not die in the Midwest. That's just, I know that I'm young right now, but still I just can't. These winters suck, man. They suck. So I want a property in Orlando and I want a property in Anaheim. And the reason I want those is because I want to do the whole Airbnb thing. I love Disney. I don't care. They got a bad image. I get it, dude. I love Disney. Grew up on it. It's my jam. I think that there's a nasty market in there if it's done right. And I'm talking about like making those houses look like Disney threw up inside of them. But the amount of money that people rent for those properties out there in those areas to be by the parks is absurd. And there's just such a surge there that even if I overpay for one of those buildings, they make your money back in the grand scheme. But on top of that, I cut it off in the wintertime, and then I go and live there during the winter's time because Chicago's the best city in the world in the summer. It is the worst city in the world in the winter. So it's beautiful, but I can't.
For runs a year. Yes, I'm up there. We're locked in miserable weather. Like
sucks.
Yeah, I'm the same way. We've been actually talking about our next property is going to be in the Clearwater Beach, Tampa area.
I used to live there.
So I lived in Largo, right outside of Clearwater.
Oh, I lived in Tampa.
My uncle lives right on the beach, on the intercoastal. He's big in the insurance game down there, so he's got some coin. And actually currently looking now, the housing market down there is tanking in Florida. Like, it's not like it is here.
Yeah, even in Orlando, the place we stayed at had it had an in-ground pool in the back. It had a little enclosure. There was like a screen enclosure, and it was just like a little. I heard it upstairs. I think it was
This year, though.
3 bedrooms and then a living room down there. And I was like, oh man, this is probably going for arm and leg. Bro, they had one for $278.
Yep.
$278. Now it's in a duplex facility. It's like they're built onto other buildings, so it's like you don't have a yard or anything like that. But dude,
Man, I don't either.
yeah, 5 Gs a week to rent that out. Like, okay, let's go all day long. You make your money back in 5 years. Let's go.
You can look at my Zillow and all my homes.com, all my apps right now, and you'll see it loaded with Florida properties because I'm close to pulling the trigger. Soon like I'm done with this rehab.
Thank you so much.
I do think I'm going to go purchase one down there, or I'm going to go into Michigan City because I do think Michigan City in the next 10 years is going to completely change.
They are building that up, but they got some large.
As you look at it from to financial aspect, it's smart. It's on the water. Like, they have the casino there, they have the mall there. It's going to change.
Yeah,
Property values are low enough. Properties that I could have bought 2-3 years ago for 80 or 90,000 are now 160.
not only that, but you could also list on your amenities. So I saw one for the people that are on the beach. I saw one that said legal weed within 10 to 15 miles. And it may not mean doesn't to everybody else, but like literally, New Buffalo was great. Yeah, you're right there.
Great marketing.
Yeah, we just got a letter yesterday. It said cannabis. It was like cannabis roller coaster or something like that. And it was a list of all the places that were in driving distance with us. I'm like, damn, dude, I can't even believe that they sent them off in the mailers. They probably lied to everybody. Like when they get, somebody sends it in, they're like, oh, sorry, you must have reached outside of our radius. They know they're.
I mean, you see the billboards in 8094.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The billboards, you're 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
20 minutes away, $10 ounces. Like, wouldn't give. Like, good for them. They just want to get you in the door, but good.
Oh yeah, no, it's great marketing, dude. It's great marketing. It's a way to stick it in like Indiana. Like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, we're taking your customers. So, brother. What I love that guy. Love that guy. Like, what do you got? Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm the same way. The minute Indiana does, I have money set aside. And I know I'm not a big, I know it's going to get bought up by all the permits.
May as well just kiss John if you're listening, by the way. Just walked up to him and gave him a kiss on his.
We are 100% that close, guys. So yeah, real quick, touch on that. The minute Indiana goes to where we're able to, I have money set aside. I'm going to, because from a financial aspect, that's
oh, dude, everybody's going to jump on that win. I saw the one spot that they had on the map too. It was New Buffalo.
Yeah,
it was in New Buffalo, and then the dispensary's right here, and then there's Culver's and McDonald's. I'm like, bro, they got to be licking their chops. Oh, that McDonald's person probably like just yeah, like that dude with the meme next to the tree.
100%. I just flew down to Florida last week for some business and. Going.
They had mobile cars there, dude. I didn't even know that they had flour there, and like literally inside the place. And I know some of it is. I got a really funny story I'll share with you after the podcast. With one of our buddies here, but I didn't know that like they had that in there. So you got to watch out because some of it's fake. But I know they were doing test runs. They were called there, and I like looked it up. As the lady was like explaining to us, they actually were allowing them to set up in parking lots out of like vans or trucks and mobile, and you can actually go in there. And only like 2 strains, but they'd give you them. They're like, oh, you can get whatever one you want. So then they'd sell it to you, but it was like a test run. The city or the state wanted to see like what the demand was in there. And the lady was telling us, she's like, oh, we sell out pretty rough. 6 hours. She's like, it's gone.
People pay for convenience as well. Like, be able to open a park one, have them there. Don't have to walk in.
We got lucky. We got off the plane, that we turned into a restaurant to go eat, and there it is. But all right, man. Well, thank you for hopping on the podcast.
I appreciate the opportunity, brother.
Always a good time, especially to have my boys on. So keep doing big things. And if you guys are getting a bounce house, you better be getting it from Jump City.
Yeah.
Have you served just Indiana, or where you at?
So we're going into Illinois this year. So we do go south suburbs, southwest suburbs. But currently it's all completely northwest Indiana, Lake and Porter counties, LaPorte County. Our website is www.jumpcitytime.com. And yeah, we're all over the place.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, hit up Jump City, inflatables, a Dr. Appliance if you need your shit fixed. If one of you guys happen to be involved in insurance and somebody took a claim out for some fraudulent ass shit and you think they're faking it, hit my man up over here, John Jordan, and out of Portage, Indiana. You guys can find him on Facebook. But either way it goes, guys, I'll see you on the next one.